Whatever you do, if you want to continue working, there's several secrets. Have a good attitude, be prepared, be on time, and all of the above, and have fun. And then your boss will like you and want to keep working with you again and again. And they'll know you're doing well, and that if you do a good job, word will spread. So just do the best you can do and give it your best shot and make sure they remember you. You're the only one who knows yourself, and you're the only one who can believe in yourself deep into your soul. And so pay attention and listen to your gut feeling and your spark. You can't ignore your spark. And when you discover your talent and your spark, keep growing with it. Grow with that talent, grow with the spark, and it's just a matter of time. Your time will come. And the more you grow your talent, the more you can expand as a human being and a better actor you can be. I really learned to trust my directors. I had a really challenging role playing Stanley in Streetcar Named Desire, and it was directed by Deb Levine. And she said, hey, don't think of Stanley as a character, just be Troy, don't be Stanley. And she encouraged me to throw this character out the window, to just be myself and be authentic. And I tried it one night, and it made a big impact. And so I really had to trust her. It wasn't about me, it was about the director's vision. And so if I'm meeting the director's vision and satisfying their vision, it's really important that during rehearsal to not be afraid to make mistakes, because you're going to discover new things about your character, especially on stage and in front of a live audience. I really learned a lot. I mean, the important thing is to be familiar with all of the materials before you arrive, because you never know what the director might ask you to do, whether you're standing, whether you're sitting, maybe he or she adds a prop, or imagine like a gun or something you have to hold. And so when you're reading the script, think about what if the director gives you a prop or makes you, plays around with the blocking. So I'll play with the banana. Maybe the banana looks like a gun, and I'll sign with one hand, and I'll play around with these props and have a few different options. The more choices you have in your preparation, if whatever the director asks you to do, you already prepared it, rather than just memorizing one line. It's really nice to be aware of that. And when you come in the room, this is your fucking time. It's your moment to take the whole room over, capture the room. That space is yours. This is your moment. This is my moment. It's not yours. And the important thing is to remember that what you're doing in your audition, do something unforgettable so they won't forget you. So being involved in so many different productions and playing so many different characters makes you stand out, because if people have seen my acting before and I'm like a one-trick pony, you know, that's bad. If they've seen me play different roles than I did in the past, that's good, because I have range, and the challenge is do something next that really stretches your limits, because that's good. So many different characters you can play will really stretch your techniques and your skill level. And don't be afraid to play a small role. You can steal the show with a small role. People remember those supporting roles in those moments. It's not all about the lead role. It's a really great experience playing these supporting roles as well. And so that really gave me a lot of tools in my toolbox that allowed me to stretch my capabilities as an actor. And I even played 5 roles in one production before, and it was really a challenge to not make each role look the same. It was really fun. When I acted on stage, I felt good that there was recognition of my language, American Sign Language, and increasing that awareness, and that folks in the audience could imagine more possibilities of working with an actor who happens to be deaf. And after winning the Academy Award, I felt very confident, because now they saw me as an actor who happened to be deaf. They didn't just recognize me as a deaf actor, it was an actor who happened to be deaf. And so I really felt like they accepted who I was and who I am. And that was it. And then now, we're peers and we can work together to create stories and create art. And I'm not broken. There's nothing wrong with me. No one needs to fix me. I'm fine. So I felt confident and I was very proud of what I did. And you know, being deaf, I always sleep well at night. I sleep soundly through the night and have sweet dreams. Sometimes I'd really love to play a villain, but because I couldn't do it in real life, I'd end up in jail, right? It's really fun to play a real bad guy or a hero, or it's fun to have an imagination and be a storyteller. It's like when you read a book, you can become these characters. I like being a part of a library, you know, part of these movies you can stick on the shelf, and even after you're dead, you last forever being a part of these films. And it's really fun to tell stories, epic historical type stories, and also stories where people couldn't imagine a deaf character. Have you ever thought of a deaf rodeo rider before? Maybe you haven't thought of it, but why not? Why can't there be a deaf rodeo rider? Why can't there be a deaf president of the United States, a president who happens to be deaf? Why not? Imagine what that would be like. It would be really fun to make people think outside of the box, and that's my goal. That's what I try and do. Acting, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel great to see an audience enjoying themselves and smile. I like to have discussions about what this story is about and why you casted these particular actors and why do people do this and that, and it's never boring. It's fun. It's fun to have those types of conversations. And I'll say, you know what, I'm going to try this tomorrow and experiment, and you try and discover new things and discover new movies, and it never stops. You know, that's what keeps me motivated. And after the show's over, you're like, ah, shit, you know, I should have done it like this, and now it's too late. And so you got to take as much advantage as you can before and during your production, because after it wraps, bye-bye. When you collaborate and you work together with people who happen to be deaf, like deaf writers, there's a lot of writers who aren't familiar with deaf culture, and we can share our cultural perspectives with each other, and so you can make a show work with multiple perspectives. In our film CODA, for example, we had 2 deaf consultants who were working with our director, Sean Hayter, during the development of the script and on set to make it all work and be as authentic as it could be. The more you see deaf people on screen, I hope to see even more in the next generation and make things easier for deaf actors, disabled actors, and diverse actors to have more opportunities. I really feel like Hollywood owes us, as a deaf community from way, way back when. We had deaf actors during the silent film era. Because in Charlie Chaplin films, there were subtitles back then, and deaf and hearing audience members could enjoy these silent films. And when the talkies came out, they excluded deaf people from the film-going experience for almost 100 years. And so now we can come back into the theater, and so I really want to encourage everyone to collaborate and get together, have better access, have captions, have subtitles, and all of the above, so that it's not like how it was 50 years ago. I'm extremely proud to be involved in a lot of disability advocacy organizations and a lot of deaf advocacy organizations that give the opportunity and access to others. For example, if you're an actor who happens to be in a wheelchair, you need to put in ramps and access, communication access. You do that on Zoom, right? You have sign language interpreters that you have to set up for access. And so I'm seeing access begin to improve, but it's really important that actors get recognition. Film festivals like Media Access and Real Abilities, and I do attend those festivals to support these disabled and deaf actors. And they had the Signlight Film Festival in Los Angeles, which is the first deaf film festival. And it's the Signlight International Film Festival. I showed up to support them and recognize this deaf talent because I believe that they're talented. There's so much deaf talent out there, and I use part of my platform to advocate for them.